Hi everybody, it's Ann King here again. Today I want to show you how to make a pumpkin centerpiece, a small centerpiece, something that would be suitable for, say, your desk at work, a teacher's desk, a secretary's desk, any desk, anybody who has a desk job and wants to put a little decoration for fall on their desk. For everyone to see their fall spirit or whatever you want. So what I have today is I prepped some of it to make this a shorter video. First, I have a slice of wood from a tree trunk. This is just actually when my husband cut off a tree we had to have cut down in our side yard, but you can pick them up at any craft store. Walmart usually has them. Just a small piece of wood, maybe about 1 inch thick and about 6 inches in diameter. The reason you want to have a piece of wood underneath your pumpkin is because these faux pumpkins are made of foam. They're very lightweight, so when you start putting your design elements in, if you got a heavier design element on one side, it's going to keep tipping over, and that's not something you want to have to deal with all the time. So first, in order to prep it, you will have something that looks completely like a pumpkin, all right? This was in the center of my pumpkin, the stem and everything. And this is just kind of a faux painted finish that's on top of a styrofoam pumpkin. So before you start pulling your stem out, you want to make sure and cut all the way around it so that the fabric of the dried paint or whatever they use to finish off the coloring of the pumpkin is cut all the way through. Otherwise, it'll rip and look really ugly. It'll tear off pieces of the top of your pumpkin where it'll be seen, and that's not something you want. So make sure and do that. I went ahead and prepped mine, and you can see the white right here is the styrofoam inside my pumpkin. I have an area that's about 1.5 inches in diameter, and that is plenty for a small centerpiece design. On the front of my pumpkin, I've always also put a small bow. And this is not made with loops. This is a bow made entirely with dovetailed ends. I'm going to show you how I did that. But when it was finished, I just glued it onto this wood slab with my hot glue. The way you do that is you take strips of ribbon, and you want your strip in this case to be about 6 inches long. And you will dovetail both ends of your ribbon, and you want to have probably about 12 pieces of ribbon here in your stack. After you've stacked them up, you'll take a twist tie, put it around the center, twist tie it so your little knob is right at the very back. Pull it as tight as you can, cut it off, and then start pulling apart your pieces of ribbon and spreading them as far as you can to make it look fluffy and cute. And that's all there is to that part. It takes longer to get it ready, and again, I wanted to see if maybe a shorter video with just a few explanations in it would work better for some of you, because I know we're all pressed for time. One thing I do want to do is decorate some of the area on my wood with dried nuts. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I've got half a walnut shell. I have no idea what kind of nut this is. And I have some of these. These were in one of those multi-packs of dried nuts or nuts stone the shell that they sell in the food section at Walmart, where you find your lettuce and your berries and your apples and all the rest of that in the fall. And actually probably right around now they start carrying these bags of mixed nuts stone the shell. So that's where I got these. Anyway, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it because I really don't want big blobs of glue showing. And I'm just going to stick them in there where I think they look cute. And that's all there is to this. A little glue on it. And then slide it onto the wood. It sticks really quick. Once again, you just want to be careful not to burn your fingers in the hot glue because that can be really uncomfortable, very unpleasant when you glue yourself with the hot glue. And just as an additional little note, I'd like to add that that is the only reason that I list my videos as not child friendly. And that is because of the hot glue. I don't think that hot glue is appropriate for young children. And so I would not want to call it child friendly when I am using a device that could burn a child. Because those burns can be really unpleasant. And I actually have a number of scars from them, and I wouldn't want to do that to a child. So now I've put nuts around the base, and I'm happy with that. I don't need my stem, but I'm going to save it in case I make a fabric pumpkin later and want to reuse the stem from this particular pumpkin. And now we're just going to add in some greenery. I've got some peonies, but they're in pretty fall colors. So I'm going to go ahead and use them because they're nice and full and pretty. And the pastels, as I said in one of my earlier videos, are very popular this fall. And now I've also got pieces of fall leaves. They've got the green, the orange, the gold, the burnt umber, all the shades of fall that you get. So I clipped a few of those. I also clipped some of this bright green fern. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put those around in the top. You remember I showed you before, just kind of twist and wiggle your greens just a little bit so that they look more realistic. Your stem's going to go down real easy into this foam. And I'm right up at the edge of the gold so that I'm hiding as much of this white as possible. In the end, if we end up having a lot showing, I'll put some dried moss or dried fern on there, and that'll hide it, and everyone will be happy. So here we go again, just kind of twisting it up. And we'll put another one in. I'll probably end up for a centerpiece this size using about 7 branches from this fern. I want to stick them down until the greenery starts. This will end up being about, let's see, about 14 inches tall. The base is 6 inches, and then the top will be bigger, but not huge. It'll fit very nicely on the corner of a desktop without getting in the way of the work that you're trying to accomplish for your boss. So this one I didn't cut short enough, so I'm going to come in and cut it a little bit more. About 1 inch of stem is all you need. You just want enough to get it glued in there good so you don't have to worry about it falling out. Now again, I'm going in the edge so that's laying there right by the gold. Kind of jiggling my stem around. These stems have wire in them, which makes them really nice and easy to arrange the way you want them, to make sure they're going in the direction you want them to go when you put them in. This one's standing up a little, so I'm going to bend it down, and I'll probably bend it even further once my glue is good and dry, because I don't want to pull it back out when I've just glued it in. So I want to give it a minute or two to dry. And now I'm going to get a couple more pieces of the fern to finish this off. So altogether, I believe that's 7 stems of fern that I have used. Trying to make them look more natural. You don't want everything laying flat or standing straight up. You want it kind of in a circular shape, going around your pumpkin, but not hanging over everything that's part of your design on the outside, like the bow or the nuts or the pretty gold color of your pumpkin. And here we are again, and this will be the last one that we put in. So they're about a 1/2 inch apart, all the way around this opening. And this is what we have so far at the front of our design. Now I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to go ahead and put my flowers in, because the rest of my greenery I'm going to want to place around my flowers and make sure it looks right. Again, you're going to want to bend your flower a little bit forward so that when it's standing up there, not only will you see it looking down, you'll see it looking in. All right, my stem is about 10 inches long, and I'm going to set this one right down in the center of this pumpkin top. Just like that. Because even though my greenery is beautiful, I still want my flowers to be the focal point of this design. I've got a shorter one. My stem is cut at 6 inches, about 1 inch down from the flower bloom. I have bent it forward. And again, I'm going right towards the center of this design and pushing it down. See how we want these at different heights. There we go. And now this nice hot pink with the dark orange right in the center, bending it down. My stem is, a good 7 inches long. And you want to put these flowers facing out all around your pumpkin so there is no real front except for the bow. Because you want this to look good when people are walking up to your desk, and you want it to look pretty when you're looking at it as well. In here I have another dark pink. It's got a lot of greens on it. It's got a very short stem. It is 3 inches. And I'm going to put that in near my other hot pink one, right here. And I'm pulling off glue strings once again. Now, so we have this, and then the front. There we go. Now I want to turn back to the front for just a minute, and I'm gonna see how I like having these fall stems put down in here. I definitely want it shorter. So I'm going to cut it off. Oh, that is not my sharp one. That's not working very well. So let me try it again with this one. There we go. Now this one from tip to tip is 9 inches, which is just about perfect to stick out the side or the front. It accents my colors, but it doesn't overwhelm my flowers. And that's what we're after. We're accenting our design and the colors that we're putting in our design but we don't want to overwhelm the beautiful flowers. I'm going to take this short one and put it right in the back because I have a place in the back where, once again, I've got glue strings, where I've got quite a bit of the center part showing. And if at all possible, I'd rather hide that with my stems of green than to try and hide it with moss. I'm going to cut this one again at about 9 inches. And come in from the other side. And since this is an all-around design, I'm not worrying too much about trying to make just one side look more perfect than the other. I want it to look great from all sides. I've got one more. I'm also going to cut this one at about 9 inches as well. Just turning my centerpiece until I find a spot that looks like it needs a little more color in it. And I've got this piece that I cut off that I will also place in. There's no point in wasting it. Just keep going around, looking for little spots that could use a little added color. And then right here in front, pulling off glue strings. My husband says I need to make sure and say that because in some of my videos, I just keep pulling my arms back and nobody knows what I'm doing. So right here above the bow, I've got a bare spot that looks like it needs more color. That's where I'm going to put this piece. Right in there. Now, I also have these pretty white flowers that look like flower blooms that are starting to dry out. And I think I want to stick a couple of these right in there close to the bottom to give a little lightness to the design. So I've got about a 4-inch stem on that. And I'm sticking it in low. There we go. And I have another one of these that I think I want to stick right over here on the other side of my peonies. I do need to shorten that stem a little bit though. There we go. And right into the center of this design. Now, what do you think? Quick, easy, cute, and you got a little bunch of fall sitting right there. Make you smile all the way through your workday. I do have this one other piece of leftover greenery from something. I couldn't tell you what it is. I was thinking I might use it in the center. Yeah, I like that. That looks cute. So it's going to go in. And then I will turn this slowly so you can see our finished product. Kind of arranging my leaves the way I want them to look. I don't want to hide any of the beautiful flowers. At least not very much. Maybe just a little bit. There we go. Okay. And I call this design finished. Here we go. Here is the bow. You can see the little nuts along the bottom. You've got your fall colors. You got some of your bright greens that are still out there from summertime. And we just have our own little tiny arrangement of what the beginning of fall looks like, minus the golden pumpkin, out in Mother Nature. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you feel inspired to make a small design all your own to place on your desk or your place of employment.